Yikes. I'm behind on like all NFL draft news, man. I'm so behind. I usually watch players for myself, break them down. I've only done like 30. Last year I did like 100. So I really need you guys to come in clutch and tell me about these players. We're going to react to some of your guys' comments as we typically do. Feel free to, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram under Gridiron Architect. On here, it's Gridiron Architect Football on Twitch. And just, yeah, leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And we're going to start by hopping into some of the draft news or draft questions, but let's roll the intro. All right. So, starting here, this is kind of the last few TikToks I made or shorts I made, just asking you guys questions. I'm interested to see what you guys had to say. Obviously, NFL free agency was popping off with the amount of comments that we had. Not as many this week, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's start with Makai Lemon. He's been in the news quite a bit, just for his like overall attitude and just I don't know. Some throws me off about that guy. I don't know. Let's watch.
One NFL executive said that Makai Lemon's testing did not go well and his consistency might be an issue. Do you guys think he's worth a first round pick or even a second round pick? One NFL executive said,
All right, let's see of some of the things you guys said here. 18th all day. Okay. Who's 18th? Who's pick 18? Pick 18. Let's see. NFL pick 18 draft. Okay. Maybe I didn't write that right. Let's see. Oh, is it Vikings? Oh my gosh. It's the Vikings. I'm literally a Vikings fan. Okay. If that doesn't go to show you how much I'm behind, I mean, I don't know what will. But yeah, Dustin. This Dustin is the man. He's been with me day one on my live streams on TikTok Live before I found out that you can't do anything creative on TikTok Live. Instead of sit in front of your phone and just talk. I can't show videos. I can't show comments without being copyright strike, anything like that. But yeah, Dustin said, yeah, Lemon definitely. I like Tyson. Watch his fluid route running. Yeah. No, he says. Yes, easily wide receiver is a premium position, and he has the most productive. He's been the most productive wide receiver in the class. Here's the thing: is wide receiver really a premium position anymore? I don't. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. I don't really think that it's that premium of a position anymore. Isn't it kind of like, supply and demand kind of thing? Isn't the supply pretty high? And the NFL is kind of leaning more towards the run game. You can see it with how high running backs are being drafted. I don't think Jeremiah Love should be taken as high as he is, but he's going to get taken like probably top 5, top 10, which to me is nuts. Um Here's my thing about Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love has pass game skills. He's a great receiver, very fast, very explosive, right? That's the things you want in a lot of running backs. But to me, and maybe I'm biased because of Adrian Peterson and the running backs I grew up with. I'm not like full on unk. I'm 27, but I'm a little unk. Um, is that they have to be able to carry the ball for a lot of carries a game. Like you got to be able to carry or touch the ball 30 to 35 times a game in order to justify, you know, a first round pick to me. It's all about usage. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why to me like is wide receiver really a premium position? You look at how the Eagles, how the Eagles build their teams, how the Giants, Cowboys, even the Chiefs to a certain extent, it's on both sides of the trenches, right? So Doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't. Um, but fair enough. That's what a lot of people think. Um, he's a late first, early second round pick, not because of testing or consistency, but because he was so weird at the combine. He'll easily go top 15. I think that's an underrated aspect of what people think. You know, excuse me. I think it's a really underrated aspect of what people think. If you're an NFL talent evaluator, you have to like the person. It is like a job interview. Do I think they overdo it? Of course. But it is like a job interview. You're going to be working with this person. You're going to be coaching this person. How are they going to react to your coaching? It's interesting. But, you know, Benda, I mean, I hear you. Rampage, I hear you. Grayson, absolutely, I hear you. But let's look at what else we've got here. What's another one? Oh yeah, Arvell Reese versus David Bailey. This one's in. Actually, no, let's go in order. Ty Simpson versus expectations.
An anonymous NFL executive said that Ty Simpson is a mix between Mac Jones and Jared Goff. Do you guys think that's accurate? And if so, why?
So I don't have any comments on this one, but I know I've gotten some comments on, I think, YouTube or Instagram for this one. Um, I think it's accurate. I won't spend too much time on it because you guys didn't comment a lot, or at all. But yeah, I think it's pretty accurate. I don't think he's even as good as either one, but this one probably had the most views of this section.
It's reported that in the top half of the first round of the NFL draft, there's going to be a lot of aggressive trades. Who do you think's going to trade, and who do you think they're going to trade for?
All right, let's take a look at the comments. So Steelers will trade up before Jets' second pick to get QB Ty Simpson. That would be insane to me. That's insane. At this point, I would probably take Will Howard over Ty Simpson. I think I gave Ty Simpson a 4th round grade. I really don't get it. I think it's just that weak of a QB class, but man, I think that's got to be it. It's that weak of a QB class. It makes sense. Teams are getting desperate. They're trying to, teams like the Cardinals are selling people like Ty Simpson. I went over this the last episode. They're selling this player because he's going to get taken high when he doesn't deserve to be taken high. That's the thing. That's kind of where it's at. Achane to the Vikings, that would be pretty cool. That would be really cool. I don't love him as like a, what do you call it? A bell cow running back, right? Maybe that's my old school way of thinking about running backs, but best ability is availability, right? So Achane's been relatively healthy, but if he carries the ball a ton, it's not going to go well. So maybe with someone like Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, you throw him in there, that'd be awesome. I don't think they're going to give up Achane, but that would be awesome. Bryce Young for a top 10 pick. I don't see it on either side. I honestly don't see it on either side. Here's the reason why. If I'm the Panthers, when he's finally starting to click, I'm not trading him then. Unless I really don't believe in him and I can just do it with anybody. But kind of what, Bagger's saying, he's not worth 1st round pick, top 10. Top 10, I don't think so. 1st round pick, I also don't think so, but I could see how you might be able to justify it. If you're really desperate for a quarterback and you have the cap space to do so, especially with how weak this quarterback class is. I mean, Fernando Mendoza to me is worth a mid 1st round pick. So, I mean, I got a general sense of what we're looking at here. People are desperate for a quarterback. That's kind of where we're at. They're very desperate for a quarterback. And with the whole aggressive thing, I mean, again, there's so many smoke screens with this kind of stuff. There's so many. there's so many smoke screens with this kind of stuff. You just never know, you know? All right, let's hop back into it. Who else? So, Dallas Cowboys versus trades.
It's reported that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be aggressive on draft day. Who do you think they're going to trade for, and what are they going to trade?
Yeah, I saw this report too, and Jerry Jones, master marketer, right? Master marketer. But let's see what McGinnis said. It's all smoke and mirrors. We're gonna keep both of our picks and draft two solid guys. Totally agree. I totally agree with that, McGinnis. Good point. User here. They're trading Dak, CD, and the coach. I'm hearing from my people insiders. What's funny about these is like people think that I'm just making these things up sometimes. Hopefully a new GM. Dang. I'll give you a second and a third for. I was about to read that. I was about to read that full on, dude. Oh my gosh. Chef Chunky, dude, you're crazy. But no, I agree with McGinnis. I agree with him. I think it is what it is. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I think they're just going to continue to, you know, they're going to continue to just draft their guys and build the way they've been building. Why would they change it? Unless Jerry's got like some I don't know this. This is just a scenario, hypothetical. Maybe what if he's sick or something and they go, "Okay, we're going all in before he passes." They're already kind of giving off that vibe in the first place. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see what else we got. This one, I like this debate. I like this debate.
It's reported that the Jets are going to decide between Arvell Reese and David Bailey with their first pick in the draft. Who do you think they should take and why?
All right, no comments on this one. Here's the thing. I I think Arvell Reese is a better football player. Probably will be a better person at his position, but David Bailey is that good of an edge player that it's just a more valuable position. And Arvell Reese can blitz, right? Arvell Reese, I made a video on him. We're talking about somebody who, could be a generational player, right? He definitely could be. So you can't ignore that fact, but David Bailey just plays a more valuable position than Arvell Reese does. That's kind of the aspect of it. And that's why I ranked David Bailey a little higher. They're both top 5 grades to me, but that's why I ranked him a little higher. Let's see here. Raiders, skill versus O-line.
It's reported that the Las Vegas Raiders are going to use their second round pick to support Fernando Mendoza. Who do you think they should take and why? It's reported that
Obviously, this is obvious. I thought the same thing. What did somebody say? Oh, it's this one made me laugh. By Plumber's Crack. Oh my gosh. It's reported that nighttime comes after daytime. I know this is obvious. I know it's obvious. It's totally obvious. Duh. What else are they going to do? But I was just curious who they thought they should take. Maybe I should be asking better questions. Tackles worth drafting that high will be gone. Offensive guard Bisadas or Prengon will be their first left side OG, and Powers Johnson at right side OG beside the winner of training camp battle of Glaze Rogers Grant. Yeah. It might be worth taking a wide receiver. I think they should do it. Denzel Boston, if he's there, Andrew said. I absolutely think that'd be a great pick. I really like Denzel Boston from what I've seen. Quality teams build their O-line and D-line, then QB. Raiders will be drafting number 1 again next year for sure. JC and the Sunshine Band, dude, dead on. Dead on. I totally agree. Totally agree. I think not only is Fernando Mendoza not worth the first overall pick, the Raiders are not in a position to take a quarterback. If you look at my previous shorts, I said the exact same thing. They're not in a position to do so. Now, with the fact that they signed a bunch of offensive line, maybe not a bunch, but they signed offensive linemen, they tried to get support around him. That makes sense, right? It totally makes sense. But I just don't think they're in a point to do so. But Scott said Arizona State tackle could be there. Blake Miller and Proctor will likely not be there. Okay. I haven't watched a bunch of the offensive linemen yet. Probably won't get a chance to with all I got going on. But I'll take your guys' word for it. I can always watch film afterwards and kind of get a sense. Iancore or Blake Miller, is that how you say it? Okay. It's reported that okay, if Omar is there, take him. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of offensive line. I think that's definitely the best way to go about it, especially with who you have in your division. I mean, you have the Chiefs, you have the Broncos, and you have the Chargers. You know, those are going to be some tough pass rushers that you're dealing with. And that's just how you win in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about the wide receivers or the running backs. It's all about the line. It's really, I don't mean to sound too unk about it, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Oops. Okay, this one's interesting. Jeremiah Smith versus 2026 draft. This one's cool.
According to NFL scouts, they believe Jeremiah Smith would be the number 1 prospect in this draft. Do you guys agree? Who do you think would be better? According to NFL scouts,
all right, let's see what you guys had to say. Maybe rating wise, physically, and potentially, but there's no way the Raiders get away from Mendoza at 1. So really, he's number 2 on his player position. QBs go 1. Fair point. I think Arvell Reese is probably a better player. He more than likely is, which makes you think, how did Ohio State not win, national championship? I know it's Indiana, but man, I don't know if I agree with this. Maybe overall talent-wise, but just the player, the position that he plays, no way. No way a wide receiver is ever getting taken number 1 overall. There's no way. It's not as, I don't care how much people say it's a really valuable position. It's just not. It's just not. And that's why, again, I'm going to say this till the day I die. I'm so dramatic. I'm going to say this till the day that I die. The Vikings have probably, you could make an argument, if Justin Jefferson's career continues to go the way that it's going, you can make an argument that the Vikings have three of the top 10 wide receivers of all time. And how many Super Bowls do they say, or do they have? 0. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson. 0 Super Bowls. That's all I have to say. Take it from a Vikings fan. Now, Jerry Rice, yes, he was great. Did he win multiple Super Bowls? Yes. But was it just because of Jerry Rice, or did they dominate in the trenches? They had a great quarterback. I mean, they probably had a great quarterback the way they did because of their offensive line. I'm not an expert on the 80s and 90s NFL, but I will bet you Joe Montana, a lot of it probably helped with the dinking and dunking. West Coast offense, But let's see what else you guys have to say. He's the best prospect ever. He came in as a freshman and won a national championship basically by himself in the playoffs. I can't confirm nor deny that. I am not an expert on that. But man, let me just say this. Every time someone gets hyped up, now it might be different. I'm not talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about football. Every time a player is hyped up this way in college football and in high school, he never pans out. Ever. You can make an argument that Marvin Harrison Jr. had a similar kind of hype. Oh, he's a sophomore. He'd be the first overall wide receiver taken, blah, 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 blah. How's it going so far? How is it going so far? That's all I got to say on that. Let's see here. Okay. You guys let me know in the comments, in the chat, anything there, if anybody's watching. Let me know what you guys think about my takes or these takes. I'd love to read your comments and hear what you guys have to say. And feel free, like I said, follow me. Gridiron Architect. I'll keep posting questions. You guys could be on an episode. I think that'd be really cool. What the show is really about is about you guys, right? Take what you can. I'm going to take what I can from what you guys have to say. Let's continue to have a discussion. But this one's just for fun. Kenny Moore versus the Colts.
Former Pro Bowl cornerback Kenny Moore is requesting a trade from the Indianapolis Colts. Do you think they should try to re-sign him, give him a newer contract, or do you think he should go somewhere else? And if so, where?
All right, let's see here. Okay, Ballard will F it up somehow. Colts fans, you guys, I mean, I get it. Y'all have some beef with Chris Ballard, and I get it. I totally get it. But, like, you've had some pretty talented teams, no? Now, you kind of messed up the Andrew Luck situation. I heard that he told Andrew Luck he needed to decide and play through injuries or just, like, sit himself out or something like, or retire. Or no, what did he say to Andrew Luck? I heard that he said to Andrew Luck, you either need to play through your injuries or I'm going to cut you. And then I think that's what made him retire. I think I saw a report about that or something. I could be wrong, but that's crazy. Now, just on the aspect of do you need to trade or keep Kenny Moore, you absolutely need to keep him. If you're going to go for a Super Bowl run like you think you are, if you're going to bring Daniel Jones back and he's actually going to have a chance to play, you need to keep him. Because you have Sauce Gardner, but also at the same time, Kenny Moore is one of the best slot corners in the league. You need to keep him. Hands down. This one is unbelievable.
It's reported that the Jaguars are going to move cornerback/wide receiver Travis Hunter to full-time cornerback after taking him second overall. Do you think this is the right move? Do you think they should just keep him at corner? What do you guys think?
Now, this comment section is wild, dude. First, everybody on this app says Jaguars, and then this guy says Jaguars, right? And then that's how I knew not to take it serious. Rolling the eyes. Are we deads? Jaguars. Sorry. Let me say it like I'm from Florida. Okay. Jaguars. Jaguars. Okay. You happy? Doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the report. It doesn't change it. I don't care. Damage control, bad pick. I agree. Now, if they were to sit in the spot that they were in, cool. And they took him, cool. I like Travis Hunter. I gave him a top 5 grade, saying he was the best corner in the class. He needs to play 75% of his snaps at CB1, and he needs to play wide receiver 3 as like a gimmick or a screen guy. Get the ball in his hands. He's shiftier and faster than like 99% of the league. That's how you play him. But no, let's play him as wide receiver 2 most of the time and then integrate him at cornerback. And on top of that, I said, I think it was, who was it? Was it Ryan Clark? I think it was Ryan. Ryan Clark is, oh my gosh, good Lord, Ryan Clark. I said it then. And I agreed with Ryan Clark. I think it was Ryan Clark. He said that unless he can do both, he's not worth a top 5 overall pick. And I totally agree. Totally agree. To me, I think I gave him a top 10 top 10 grade as a corner and a late first round grade as a wide receiver. If he were to just play Either one. I graded both. And I said, if he does both, then he's a top 5 grade. Otherwise, if he just plays corner, he's a top 10. If he just plays wide receiver, he's late first round, kind of flyer, just focuses on wide receiver, whatever, right? Develops that way. But he's not doing both. And then on top of that, you traded a first round pick to get him. Now what the Jaguars GM said was inspirational. The way he said it, he inspires belief. Totally cool. You need players like that on a championship team. Totally agree. But you also have to be smart about it. And you're over here acting like Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if it's his attitude, but talent-wise, he is one of the most talented wide receivers in the league. Bar none. Bar none. One of the most talented wide receivers in the league. It was just a bad pick. Wasn't the best wide receiver in the draft. Wasn't the best cornerback in the draft. Let's draft him second. I personally would have made a case for Benjamin Morrison. I think they came out in the same class. If I remember correctly, he did not go as high, but I really loved Benjamin Morrison. He reminded me of Devin Witherspoon, of Donovan, oh my gosh, his name from the Eagles. I can't remember his name. Those two. Reminds me of those two. Now, you can make an argument for him, but I don't know. Definitely wasn't the best wide receiver in the draft. I'll say that. But he probably was the best corner, if not second best. Everybody on this app says Jaguars, whatever. Yeah, Jaguars. Danny Paddock, it's the best move. He can't fully attend both offensive and defensive meetings, so it can be mid at both positions, or it can be elite at one and fill in other specialty packages. Designed specifically for his skill set. Anything else is a complete waste of his talents. Totally agree. That's exactly what I just said. Totally agree. Brother, Jags fans knew this 6 months ago. This is not real news. Okay, whatever. Then why is it reported? Seems like real news to me. They moved him to the position that he's the worst at. Bad take. Wrong. What a thought-provoking rebuttal. He was a non-factor at wide receiver. He's the best at the Jags number 3 corner. That's crazy. No, he's a corner. He's a CB1. Experience at safety, could probably play slot, QB, and excel. I think he's a man-to-man corner. Because they knew he's bad at wide receiver. He played pretty good at corner last year. All this is happening because of the emergence of Parker Washington. Great problem to have. Yeah, possibly. Parker Washington, you traded for wide receiver from the Raiders. I can't think of his name at the top of my head, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting, this conversation. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Reported that the Jags.
Sorry. It is what it is. People are going to say Jaguars. But at the end of the day, I think I'm right. And a lot of these guys are right too. This one is kind of this one's the last one. It's kind of fun. You're going to see a lot of comments like, what is this hate you're talking about? I'm talking about the way people talk about Larry Bird is so disrespectful. Like he's not a top 10 player of all time. And here, I think, now have I made a list? I could be wrong. It might be top 12, top 15. But people are disrespecting Larry Bird. I think you can make an argument that Larry Bird is better than Magic Johnson. That's just me. Now, let's watch.
I don't understand the Larry Bird hate. Now, I'm mainly a football guy, but here's the question. How are you going to sit there and say that Larry Bird was too slow and unathletic to be good in today's NBA when you have Luka Doncic and Jokic as some of the best players in the league? I don't understand
Maybe I'm the only one that's heard this or got this impression, but I just don't. See, because dude said, didn't know there was Larry Bird hate, but I watched him in his prime and they wouldn't hate him if they did too. Um, Bro's yelling at the clouds. Nobody's saying this. Maybe, right? But let's not act like, maybe they're not hating on him, right? Maybe I phrased it incorrectly, but they're definitely not giving him the respect he deserves. People are putting Magic Johnson above him. I don't think Magic Johnson is better than Larry Bird. Someone said some wild thing on YouTube, and people are so people are so annoying. This dude's like, anybody who said they love Larry Bird, it's a dog whistle for them being racist, and they probably voted for Trump and blah 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 blah. Can't people just like a basketball player more than another basketball player? What is so hard to understand about that? I don't get it. I don't get it. But okay. Larry is basically the blueprint for today's NBA size, ball skills, perimeter shooting, way more athletic than he gets credit for. Rizad said, I totally agree. And I think the point that I had made, I totally agree with the point that I made. The point that I made is that Luka and Jokic are some of the best players. So it doesn't make any sense how we're talking about, it just doesn't make sense. Bro would just be better KD with better defense. I don't know about that. KD's just so different. Anyone who thinks Larry Bird can't play in today's game doesn't know basketball. It's that simple. Totally agree with that. Recency bias, my friend. 90% of bad NBA discourse is recency bias versus nostalgia. Goes both ways. That's what it is. Dan, thank you. That's exactly how I didn't know how to put it into words. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yo, what's up, Udaro? What's up? Right now, we're talking about Larry Bird. We're usually football, but we're talking about Larry Bird. Dude, this explains it so perfectly. It is about recency bias. Everybody's talking about Kobe. Now, Kobe's might be better than Larry Bird, right? I think that's a fair take. But the way people talk about Larry Bird is so disrespectful. I haven't heard of Larry Bird hate like at all. Where are you hearing this stuff? Are you saying it's hate because they don't think he's as good as you do? Yeah, I was just in the comment section of TikTok where Larry Bird was getting disrespected a few days ago. I think he's a little overrated and not quite top 10. But the things some people say are ridiculous. That's wild because Larry was amazing. Yeah, Old Man River. Oh, well, that's cool. Thank you, Udaro. Yeah, I just started streaming on Twitch. Udaro said, no way you got 0 followers. I thought you were a big streamer based off the stream setup. That's really nice. I've been working on it. I used to stream on TikTok a lot more, but Twitch is way better. So yeah, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. The way the show is set up is, once a week, follow my TikTok or my YouTube. I post questions, and then on first follower on Twitch. Thank you, Udaro. That's so nice. Thank you. The way I set it up is, I pose questions and then I react to your comments typically about football. Just you happen to be here for the Larry Bird conversation. Larry was bigger and stronger, more athletic. Luka. Larry's like 70. How can he keep up? Mallard. That's so funny. It's not a Larry Bird thing. It's the old head saying all the players in this era or MJ's era are all better than the players today, which is insane and not true. And hear me out as an old head, we saw players from both eras. We watched a much more physical game where players actually played every game. They didn't need load management. Okay, this is kind of where I am. So I feel like I'm a 27-year-old old head. I went to a Timberwolves game. I'm from Minnesota. Went to a Timberwolves game for my, it was KG night. It was fan appreciation night. And they were playing the Pelicans. And guess what? It was fan appreciation night. And both teams rested their starters. No starters played. Now, granted, I know the playoffs are coming. I get it. But on fan appreciation night, if that ain't the NBA in a nutshell, Fan appreciation night. We're going to rest our starters. Go Timberwolves. But we're here for KG. It's wild. This younger generation has no clue who was good and electrifying in the 80s. Least obvious dog whistle. Dude, again. Bro, watch Larry Bird highlights. Like, imagine thinking that you can't think a player is being hated on and disrespected because of his athletic ability, because of his race. Like, that's so wild to me. That's so dumb. Clearly, he was incredibly clutch. Amazing passer, great defense, facilitator, shooter. I just hit the mic, shooter. Just amazing, dude. And this is why, I mean, the NBA made it racial. That's why it's a racial conversation. They made it racial. And the NBA in the 80s capitalized on it being a racial conversation. That's what it was. And then MJ transcended it into superstardom. He didn't talk about race. He didn't talk about politics. MJ is the greatest player of all time. It's not even close to me. LeBron is not the greatest player of all time. I don't think so. There's no way. But, I mean, that's all I got for you guys today. Udaro, thank you for being my first follower on Twitch. God bless you, man. That's awesome. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to post this on YouTube, so feel free to watch. This is Take What You Can. This is my live show and, podcast, whatever you want to call it, and react to what you guys have to say and your comments. I really want to try to create a community here. And, I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless. Take care. Thank you, guys.